China has launched an unprecedented mission to retrieve samples from the far side of the moon.
China's recent discovery on the moon has sent ripples through the global scientific community, igniting both fascination and concern. In an era where space exploration is as much about geopolitical dominance as it is about scientific curiosity, this development has the potential to rewrite much of what was previously assumed about the moon, and has put agencies like NASA on high alert. What the Chinese lunar mission uncovered isn't just another rock sample or an interesting mineral. It's something far more consequential. A new type of lunar mineral that hints at a previously unknown geological process and, more importantly, the presence of a rare isotope that could revolutionize energy as we know it. Before we start, please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more updates. The Chang'e 6 mission, China's most advanced lunar undertaking to date, landed in the southern hemisphere of the moon, an area less explored and understood compared to the northern and equatorial regions. Unlike previous missions, which focused heavily on collecting samples of known lunar basalts or studying impact craters, this mission was designed to dive deeper, both literally and metaphorically. Equipped with a suite of sophisticated instruments and AI-guided exploratory rovers, the mission ventured into the Aitken Basin, one of the oldest and deepest impact craters in the solar system. What they found there is nothing short of revolutionary. Within days of analyzing subsurface material, the mission detected anomalous readings that didn't match any known lunar compositions cataloged by earlier missions from the United States, Russia, or even China's own previous Chang'e landers. The data revealed the presence of a crystalline compound that had never been seen before, not on the moon, not on Earth, and not in any meteorite sample studied in laboratories. What made the discovery even more striking was that this mineral structure contained helium-3, a rare isotope of helium that is almost non-existent on Earth, but thought to be abundant on the lunar surface. Helium-3 has long been theorized as a potential game-changer in the field of nuclear fusion. Unlike the radioactive isotopes currently used in nuclear fission or even proposed fusion reactors, Helium-3 offers a clean, efficient, and virtually limitless source of energy. It produces minimal radioactive waste and doesn't suffer from the same meltdown risks. For decades, scientists have dreamed of the potential to mine helium-3 on the moon. But until now, its distribution and extractability remain speculative. China's discovery has taken this concept from science fiction into the realm of reality. The implications of this are monumental. With access to helium-3, China could leapfrog existing energy technologies and establish itself as the first true lunar energy superpower. It would no longer be a race to the moon for flags and photos. It would be a race for energy independence and technological supremacy. The discovery puts China at the forefront of an entirely new energy paradigm, while the rest of the world scrambles to reassess its lunar strategies. What has particularly alarmed NASA and other space agencies is not just the scientific discovery, but the strategic edge it could offer China. The United States has long maintained a lead in space exploration, but in recent years, China has rapidly closed the gap. The Chang'e missions have grown in complexity and success, each building upon the last with unprecedented speed and precision. The successful deployment of Chang'e 6 to such a geologically rich and previously unexplored region of the moon shows a level of operational sophistication that rivals, and in some ways surpasses, that of NASA's Artemis program. Moreover, China's infrastructure is uniquely positioned to capitalize on such a find. Its heavy-lift Long March rockets are already capable of delivering substantial payloads to lunar orbit. Its rapidly expanding satellite network, lunar relay systems, and plans for a permanent lunar research station by the early 2030s are more than just ambitions. They are practical steps aligned with a long-term strategy. The discovery of helium-3 adds a potent economic incentive to accelerate these plans. If China succeeds in developing a viable method to mine and transport helium-3, it could alter the global energy landscape in a way similar to how oil reshaped geopolitics in the 20th century. NASA's concern is also rooted in the principle of space governance. The Outer Space Treaty of 1967, which prohibits any nation from claiming sovereignty over celestial bodies, is increasingly being tested as countries begin to assert their technological presence in space. China's ability to identify, isolate, and potentially monopolize a resource as critical as helium-3 raises thorny questions about resource sharing, extraction rights, and future conflicts. While the United States and its allies promote cooperative frameworks like the Artemis Accords, China has chosen to chart its own course, often in collaboration with nations outside the traditional Western Space Club. Technological implications are equally profound. Helium-3 fusion isn't just a better battery, it's a paradigm shift. If China can develop reactors that use this isotope effectively, it could usher in an age of ultra-efficient power plants, long-lasting spacecraft propulsion systems, and even terraforming technologies for future planetary colonization. In this context, the moon becomes not just a satellite, but a stepping stone to a broader space economy, one that China is positioning itself to dominate. The shockwaves from this discovery are not limited to government agencies. The private sector, already invested heavily in lunar exploration and resource extraction, is now recalibrating its strategies. Companies like SpaceX, Blue Origin, and a host of international aerospace firms are rapidly pivoting to consider how they might join or compete in the emerging helium-3 gold rush. The moon has transformed from a scientific frontier to an economic battleground, and time is of the essence. At the heart of the discovery lies a deep, unsettling realization. The moon still holds secrets we barely understand. The fact that a mission could uncover a previously unknown mineral and isotopic concentration within a well-studied area like the Aitken Basin suggests that much of the lunar subsurface remains a mystery. This challenges existing geological models and encourages a re-evaluation of how the moon formed, how its materials have evolved, and what other resources might be hiding in plain sight. China's meticulous approach to lunar science is paying dividends, unlike the sample return missions of the past, which often aimed for speed and prestige. Chang'e 6 was a study in precision. It employed ground-penetrating radar, high-resolution spectroscopy, and robotic drills capable of extracting samples from multiple layers of regolith. By analyzing different strata, scientists were able to map the geological history of the region and detect trace elements invisible to surface scans. This multi-layered approach has set a new standard for planetary exploration and could become the blueprint for future missions. The geopolitical timing couldn't be more impactful. As tensions between China and the West continue to simmer on Earth, the moon is becoming an extension of that rivalry. Control of lunar resources could equate to control of the next-generation energy economy. It's not hard to envision a near future where lunar mining outposts are protected not just by scientific protocol, but by space-capable defense systems. The militarization of space, once considered a dystopian notion, is increasingly a logistical concern. With a resource as valuable as helium-3 now in play, the stakes have risen exponentially. For NASA, this development is a clarion call to accelerate its own lunar ambitions. The Artemis program, which aims to return humans to the moon and establish a sustainable presence, now carries even more strategic importance. The scientific goals remain, but layered atop them are concerns about technological parity, resource access, and maintaining influence in what is rapidly becoming a crowded and competitive domain. Artemis isn't just about going back to the moon. It's about not being left behind. In parallel, international bodies are beginning to wrestle with the implications of lunar resource extraction. The legal and ethical frameworks governing the moon were written in a time when such activities were theoretical. Now, they face the real possibility of commercial and national ventures extracting, processing, and transporting extraterrestrial materials. The absence of clear guidelines on ownership, environmental impact, and conflict resolution creates a vacuum ripe for dispute. China's discovery brings urgency to these discussions, as what was once abstract is now imminent. There is also a cultural dimension to the discovery. For a nation with a deep historical connection to the moon, evident even in the naming of its missions after the moon goddess Chang'e, this achievement carries symbolic weight. It represents not just technological prowess, but a reclaiming of narrative. For centuries, space exploration was dominated by the West, framed by American and Soviet triumphs. Now, China is carving its own story, one that interweaves mythology with modernity, tradition with cutting-edge science. This resonance matters. especially in a world where soft power is increasingly exercised through symbols, achievements, and stories of national excellence. If you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel. Also, leave your comments below and tell us, what are your thoughts on China's moon discovery? Will NASA respond or fall behind? We want to hear from you. Thank you for watching and see you next time.